Hello, welcome. I'm Joel, and this is the Dad Way playlist. In this video, we'll be looking at putting together the Echelon baby crib. There's only 6 main pieces with several pieces of hardware, so let's go ahead and take a look. In order to put the crib together, we'll need just a couple of tools, and these are 2 Allen wrenches. I have 2 different styles. This one's a little bit easier for screwing in, and this one's more for stationary to hold, but they are 5/32. Should be pretty simple. There's only 16 screws in all. Make sure you have 16 washers, and make sure you have 8 barrel nuts, and only 4 barrel nut with the Phillips. Okay, welcome back. Let's get started. So I have 6 pieces here. This is the back piece. This is the front piece. This will be inside the bed and it'll hold the mattress. This goes in basically at the front to conjoin the sides and the back. And then I have 2 side pieces. Now you only have to take a look at the design on some of these pieces because we'll be looking at which way it faces. I'll go ahead and move the front piece out of the way. I'll move this piece out. And we'll get to this piece at the end. And we'll start with the back and the 2 sides. Now if you notice, one of these does have the Echelon emblem here, and it does have a warning sign. And if you'll notice, the beveling of the crib is, for the outside, is really nice, and on the inside it's very flat and plain. So the flat side will actually be the inside of the crib. So I'm going to move it down. I will also let you know that these sides have several holes. Don't be intimidated by all the holes. We'll get to all of them, and they'll be easy to understand once we get to them. But just note, remember the tag on the inside, and that's okay. If you don't have a tag on the inside, you can look down on one side. One side has 2 extra screws at the bottom. This will be at the front of the crib, and so if you're looking at the front of the crib, this could be closest to you. So you're lining up, hole at the top with a hole at the top, and then there's 2 holes on the bottom of the base at the back, but only 1 on this side, and that's okay. We're going to line the bottom screw with the bottom hole and the top screw with the top hole. And if you'll notice on the inside of the side piece, it has 2 holes, one on top and on bottom on the inside rail. You look at the back piece, and it's the design is facing inward. You'll notice a hole at the top and then 2 holes at the bottom. We're only worried about the one at the very bottom and the one at the top. Okay, from here, we're gonna line it up in just a minute, but we will set it aside, and then we'll go get the 2.5-inch screws with the barrel bolts. Now, these screws are 2.5 inches. They have a washer and then the barrel nut. And whenever you put the wood together, the screw will screw into the barrel nut, like so. And so you'll have to use 2 hexagon or 2 Allen wrenches to tighten it. The washer should stay up next to the hexagon head whenever you put it on. So I'll grab my 2 Allen wrenches. Sometimes it's easier with 2 people, but for purposes of this video, it'll just be me. I should have some room in order to put this crib together, and so I want to make it easier for myself. If I put the screw in on the side rail, then it's going to be hard to manage, and I won't be able to get my Allen wrench in to be able to screw it in. So I'm going to put the barrel nut on this side right through that hole, and then on the main back piece of the crib on the top hole, I'm going to slide it in with the washer next to the head, and the screw should stick out, line up with that hole, and then you can start screwing in the barrel bolt. I'm going to take the long Allen wrench, put it on the back head of the hexagon of the screw, and I'll take the smaller one, and then I'll start screwing it on together. Now you don't want to go all the way tight, you just want it to be able to hold. Now it holds, great. So go get another one. And you're essentially going to do the same thing. Another 2.5 inch with the hexagon barrel bolt, or hexagon barrel nut, excuse me. And you use the hexagon barrel nut, you slide it into the side, and then a screw, slide it in the hole in the back, and it should line up exactly right into that barrel nut. Then I'll put the Allen wrench on back and the simple tightening Allen wrench on front on the barrel nut, and then I'll screw it in. Now you don't have to get it really tight, you just have to get it close, and you might want to tighten the top one again, but you just want to get it close, not super tight, just enough to hold. Now I'll look at the other side, and I'll look at the bevel. Nice architecture on the outside. That'll go out. It also has a sticker at the bottom that says right or inside. So I'll line it up again with the hole at the top and the hole in the bottom, with the top hole and the bottom hole. It lines up perfectly, and I'll get another 2.5-inch screw and barrel bolt. Now the barrel bolt will go on the outside, and the screw will go in the back at the top. Line it up with the holes, and you should be able to start screwing that nut, and it should catch when it's lined up. You can do this with your fingers. Then I'll take the long Allen wrench, put it stationary on the back, then I'll use the short Allen wrench on the front and screw it in. Then grab the last, this would be the fourth one, the last one, the barrel nut and the screw. Put the barrel nut in the bottom hole on the side, and then the screw in the bottom hole in the back. Line it up. It should be pretty easy to line up, and then start screwing it in with your fingers, and then put the long Allen wrench on back. That's stationary. Then you can screw it in. Once the sides are in, now you can tighten. You just want to make sure they line up appropriately. Now we want the long piece. The long piece has the barrel caps and the 3-inch screws. So if they're not already in, there's a way to put it in. The hole where the screws in goes into the hole, down. The Phillips head should be on top to be able to help it turn as it's in, so that you can see where it aligns. Because if it's lined up this way, you're not going to be able to put the screw in, and it's not going to line up. It won't work. But if you're able to turn it a little bit, then it lines up perfectly with the hole. Then the screw will be able to screw into it, like so. For now, put the screw aside. And I kept these together, so that's a quick tip for you. If you're traveling with them, keep them together. It's a whole lot easier to manage it afterwards. Okay, remember those 2 holes at the very bottom? They're here on the inside rails of both of the inside pieces. And so this long piece will be your support crossbar, and you want the barrel nuts to stay on the inside. And you want it to line up like so. We'll put a screw on one side, just put it through the hole, and then screw on the other side and put it through the hole. Make sure you still have your washer on there. Put it through the outside, put it through the top hole. You can kind of give it a screw if you want to. Grab your other screw, make sure the washer's up high on the head. Put it through the top hole. Find the top hole in the joining piece, and you can start screwing it in, finger tight. Now again, if you have issues, you can look at a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, and turn it to make sure that it lines with the screw going in. Make sure that hole's aligned appropriately. And then grab another screw, put them at the bottom, make sure it aligns, and start screwing it in, finger tight. Then you can take your Allen wrench and tighten the top just enough, and tighten the bottom, both sides. Perfect. Now it's in, now it's supported, now it's held together pretty well, and it can actually be off of the wall. Now we need the front piece. Make sure the design is faced outward and the flat side is on the inside. It is a bit heavier, but that's okay. And you'll have a top hole and 2 bottom holes. You're only using the top holes. If you'll notice that they have threads on the inside, this is where you will have the 2-inch screws without the barrel nuts, but you'll still have a washer. And they will go through the side, through the back, and then they will screw onto or into this hole, this face. So essentially you want to line up the front of it like so. You can put 1 screw in the top hole. It'll line up with the top. just finger tight, just to get it started. You might have to lift it just a little bit for it to line up. Just to hold it. Then grab your other screws. Make sure the washer is on there, the very back, and then start screwing it in at the top. Finger tight is okay for right now. And then find the bottom hole. Put the screw in there, make sure the washer is on there. Finger tight is okay. Should line up pretty quickly and nicely. And then same thing for the last side. Sometimes a little movement helps to get it lined up. And then you can come in with your Allen wrench and tighten it. Okay. Now if you'll notice on the inside, whenever you're in the middle of the crib, there are 3 holes on either side of the side rails. And they're on both sides. These will be your positioning for the spring. The holes will be different levels for your spring. And it depends on how high you want to put your, or how low you want to put your mattress. Depends on how low you want to put your spring. And we'll take a look right now. Now again, for packing, I did put the barrel nut and the screw together to remind myself how it fits. These are the 1-inch screws. Now, it does say this side up on a sticker, but if you don't have the sticker, it looks like where the springs engage with the frame is the upside. If you flip it on the inside, and it's kind of set in a little bit. We want the sturdiest position, so this side up, where the springs engage with the frame. That means the 2 flaps on the end will be sticking up, and they do adjust, and they do go around almost completely, but there is a breaker here to make them not go in the front. So they do adjust, and you will be able to move them as you see fit. Okay, these adjust, line them up. All right, this side up. This part's also a little complicated, and I can't tell you which position it should be in, but for the most part, I am gonna start the lower side just because it's a little bit easier. So with this screw and barrel nut, the screw is gonna be on the inside, the barrel nut will be on the outside. So pick a hole that you'd like, put the barrel nut in, slide your hand, grab the spring piece, put the hole through that little lever, and then find that hole at the bottom. It's not the easiest. Once you get it in there, it's ideal if you have someone standing on the other side, they hold it, so it'll level it. And what you can do is you can use that lip at the front, that frame piece, for it to kind of lean against in order to connect it. First, you can use both Allen wrenches. All right, once you get one on, I would advise going to the other side, getting this side on. Remember, the bevel bolt goes on the outside. That's a good catch with it. In the hole. And a quick tip, grab the screw, put it through the hole, and help it support. Just to help you support. Finger tight's good. Might have to move the lever a little bit. You can tighten it. And the last one, make sure the bevel bolt's on the outside, bars on the inside, the washer is up next to the head. Screw it on finger tight the best you can, and then use both of your Allen wrenches. Then you're done. At least you got it all together. Now you can put your mattress in, and you're set. You're good to go. That was taking apart the Echelon baby crib. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from us, you can click subscribe. Otherwise, we'll catch you in the next video. Y'all have a good one.